My name is Christy, and this is Angel Talk, where the archangels are real, relevant, and accessible to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. Hello and happy new moon in Leo. I hope that everyone is having a wonderful day. This is Christy Michelle Riggs. If you're here with me for the first time, this is Angel Talk. Thank you so much for being here, whether you've been here with me hanging out for a little bit now or whether you're new. I'm glad to have all of you. This has been so much fun. I got an email earlier today that tells me, how many people are listening to the podcast, and I am just blown away. I'm just absolutely blown away, and I want to thank all of you so much. This has been on my heart for the longest time now, or for what feels like the longest time. It's relatively speaking, it's not been all that long, but it feels like many lifetimes that this has been on my heart to share the angels, to share love, to just share perspective, to connect. And I really feel like that is a big part of what this new moon and this energy that is available to us right now is about. It's not all of it, but I do think that it plays an integral part. I think that we've been so focused on all this fire energy, and it is fiery. I am not discounting that. That's one of the reasons that it's later in the day that I'm getting this to you guys, and that I'm talking with you about this new moon. Is I felt the fire today. This Uranus retrograde and how that's playing into all of it, and then we have Mars in its home sign of Aries. We talked about that many times. Little sister Eris is along for the ride, and Mars is just fueling her fire. I say little sister, but I have no idea really. I probably shouldn't say it like that. That's how I think of it. I don't know why that is, but that's how I think of it, as this, feisty, fiery little sister of the god of war, and they are like tag teaming to see who can bring the most fire, and it's, again, nothing that we have to be afraid of. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, with this shift and with this new moon and with this Leo energy and all this fire energy that we have going on right now, about how we can use our free will choice to harness our own power. With all of this awakening energy and all of this, fire energy, Leo energy, Phoenix energy, whatever you want to call it, it's intense. And what I've been reminded as I've been meditating and thinking and just, really going within to reflect and to think about my own journey and where I've come from, where I am, where I want to go. In that process, I've really discovered that, we always have this choice. And I used to give a lot of my power away. And I know that we're hearing a lot right now. A lot of people are talking about this Leo energy. And for those of you that are new with me, I am a Leo. I'm right. What we say in the South, I'm smack dab in the middle of Leo. On August the 10th is my birthday, and was my birthday. And a lot of, this life journey for me, whether I realized it or not at the time, has been about mastering my emotions. And what do I give my power to, and when do I use my voice, and when do I use that lion's roar if it's needed and if it's called for, so that when it is heard, it means something. Because I used to, now I feel just as big, if not bigger, than I ever have. That's why we say somebody's got the heart of a lion. It's passionate, it's big, it just burns with whatever emotion that is there. It's like on steroids is how it feels. And sometimes, or a lot of the time, I used to feel like I was under attack by my own emotions. And the way that I was responding to that, by just, spewing that out everywhere, was only feeding that very thing. And so I was in like this vicious cycle. And that's what I really understand now, and has been such a transformation for me. And as I reflect back, I sometimes don't stop to think just how much I have transformed. And so I want to encourage you guys to do that too. With this new moon, just take a minute and pause. And no matter where you are on this journey, no matter if you are just starting out and you're just waking up and you're like, what is all this about? Or if you have been like me and been one of the, what they call like the front runners, the first wave of ascension that really had no idea what was going on. And I like to equate it to like, we're like that, like that third string quarterback or something that for whatever reason, the star quarterback, he's hurt, he's out of the game. Second string, he's sick or something, I don't know. And so you like, every once in a while you'll see it happen if you ever watch sports. I don't watch sports very much really at all anymore, but I used to watch a lot of it. And I have a son that's grown now, but he was very athletic, and so I was always at some ball field or gymnasium or something, it seemed like. And but anyway, I think of us as first wavers as like, how just every once in a rare blue moon, that third or fourth string quarterback will have to go in at like the big game, like the championship game or the Super Bowl or something like that. And you see like this look of absolute and total, holy crap, I did not see this coming. I'm actually going to have to do this. Here we go. And a lot of times what you see is that in those moments, somebody will rise to the occasion and have like this breakthrough performance. You know, it happens with it doesn't have to just be sports. It happens all the time in any kind of like performing art or creative art or anything where somebody has had to, you know, like hone in on a skill or really spend a long time perfecting and fine-tuning a craft. And then there's this moment where it's like you can watch them rise to the occasion, like right before your eyes. And it's breathtaking. It's for the people watching it, and if you watch the energy of the person that is experiencing it, that is rising to that occasion, and they almost look like whatever it is that they're doing, they almost look like they're just not even touching the ground. And so I think that so many of you are having this moment, and that's why I want to talk about this today instead of doing the way that we traditionally do. With I do have a card for us, a message from Archangel Raphael at the end. It's just a very, very short message, but what I really felt led to talk to you guys about today was just what was on my heart, and some of the things that I've been thinking about, reflecting back on the journey that I've been on, that I'm still on. And I've had the privilege, I've been very blessed to connect with some people that have reached out, you know, for readings or intuitive counseling sessions. Several people just over the weekend and these last couple of days. And what I am really noticing is that people are feeling this split, this timeline split, and they're like, now that it's here and I feel it and I'm like aware of it, I'm kind of having this moment of I don't want, I'm scared to let go. I'm scared. I can remember like when my son was just a little bitty thing, which now he's never been real little bitty. He's he's massive. He's so tall and just there's not an ounce of fat on him, but he's just massive. He's huge. But when he was just young, I guess I should say, and he got brave, and we had gone to the pool and we were going off the high dive. This is big time. We're doing the high dive. And Mom's going to do the high dive with you, you know. We're going to hold hands and we're going to go off of it together. I think he was like 5. And we're pumped. Oh man, we stand in line and we're all the way up we get all the way up to the top of the steps, and there's kind of a long line at the public pool facility where we lived at the time. And when we get up there, and we get out to the end, and then I feel this hand clench, and kind of like, we're actually up here now. What do I do? I can't. And he's kind of looking around and like looking at me like, surely we can go back down the steps, right? We don't have, what do we do? I don't, like, it was almost like, I didn't think about this part. I was just excited at the idea of going off the high dive, and we were having so much fun going up the stairs, and now we're here. Oh crap. You know? And so I just kind of like, I didn't hold him, but I just kind of like wrapped him up close to me. And we just went off together. And it was like, I can remember there being this moment where we're like midair, and I hear his giggle. And it was just like, it was this giggle that said, "This is so much fun. I can't believe how much fun I'm having." And it's scary, but at the same time, it's, oh my gosh, it's so much fun, and I'm safe because I know I'm with Mom, and Mom, isn't this fun? I mean, like, his giggle just said all of that. It was, and it was like this magical moment where time like almost stopped, and I was reflecting back. I don't even know what brought that what brought that memory into my awareness, but that's been happening a lot lately. And just in reflection about these moments of, it may not have seemed like much at the time, or that may have just seemed like that's just what we did every day. We went to the pool a lot. We did lots of fun, adventurous things a lot. I had the privilege to stay home with my children when they were small, and so that really, being at the pool wasn't really out of the ordinary. But this moment of being suspended in midair and hearing that giggle, just that was magical. And I've had so many other moments like that come into my awareness these last several days. And the reason that I share that with you is because, we think so much about this move into higher consciousness, or this move into the fifth dimension. We think about it sometimes in a way that, whether we realize it or not, can almost seem like we're trying to escape something. And we have to be careful of that, be mindful of that. Because while we are, looking to the way forward, and this new moon is a perfect time with a lot of wonderful energy to tap into, to really get focused on the way forward. But I think we also need to think of those magical moments that we've had along the way, even if our way has been, not the easiest. Where have we been able to find those little miracles that maybe even at the time, didn't seem like much, but when you reflect back on it, it's like, wow, that was really a big deal. That was a miracle. I can recognize that and see that I experienced like this magical moment in time that really was a miracle. Because I think that when we, get this idea where we are, fighting so hard to get away from the 3D and the 3D energy and the old way of doing things, and we can almost start to seem like like a kid that's graduating high school. I know this was me. Okay, this was my story. I grew up in a little tiny coal town in the very eastern tip of the state of Kentucky, and the only thing that I knew for certain was that I was getting out of there. Wasn't anything for me there. They didn't understand me there. I was going somewhere else where there were weird people like me. Or just somewhere else. And the older that I've gotten, the more that I realize I was running so hard to get out of that place that I didn't take the time to stop and appreciate all of the really positive things that growing up there gave me. You know, I feel like that a lot of, or so much of why I am who I am is because of growing up there. It's a very unique place. It's. I have often said you need a passport to go there, but it's full of some of the most kind and warm and loving people. And I was running so hard to get away and to get anywhere but there that I didn't stop to look around me and see that where I was not as bad as I thought that it was. Now, that's not to say that, you know, that it wasn't the right decision for me to leave, because it's not a place that I would have been happy. I had outgrown it, you know, well before I actually got to leave, and so it was the right decision for me to spread my wings and go on and to create new things. But the older that I get and the more reflective that I become, instead of, I used to be a runner, which is really odd because anybody that knows me knows I hate to run. I'm not physically, I'm not, like in the literal sense, I'm not a good runner. I always tell people, if you see me running, please come and help me, because something's chasing me. Something is about to get me. Because I don't understand these. I have a friend that I've known her since we were kids, and I mean she is a beast. She runs these marathons, and she'll run like 1 or 2 a month sometimes. She's run them all over the country. And I'm like, phew. I'm not out of shape. Running is just not my thing. I can't figure out how to get into a rhythm of it to where it gives me that feeling of exhilaration like it does her. But now, figuratively speaking or metaphorically speaking, I have logged some miles in my day running. And what I have realized is that because we're in this non-linear experience, we're in this more of a spiral, cyclical experience. You can run and run and run and run and run as hard as you can run away from something, and sure enough, you will make a lap in that circle. And it's really kind of interesting when you catch yourself like lapping yourself, like running past yourself, and it's almost like you kind of look over like, hey, wait a second, where am I at? What has happened? and those are the kind of things that I've been reflecting on. So as we talk about this very pivotal new moon, because it is a very pivotal new moon, and as this split becomes more and more evident and more rapidly outwardly manifesting in our experience, as we start to feel the awareness and the reality of that more and more, it's really important that we take a moment and do some reflecting and think about what it is that we have gained from our experience with in the 3D, from our earthly experience, and from being here at this time, and the unique opportunity. I mean, just sometimes I think we don't realize that what we are doing and being here at this time will go down in the Akash, and we will be forever known throughout the universe. I get choked up when I think about it, because it's not been easy. But I'm so grateful that I'm in this place now where there are a lot of parts of it that are still not easy. But whereas I had spent so much of my life in despair and confusion and loneliness and unworthiness and just making a mess of and setting fire to, you want to talk about fire, I could set a fire. That's not something I'm proud of. I share that with you because I know that there are a lot of people just like me that don't even know why they're setting fire to stuff. You know? And what I've learned to do, and where the real lasting transformation has been, in my experience, the most profound transformation has been taking that Leo energy that I have, God knows that I have it, and that big fiery Leo emotion, that line that, you know, when you see what we typically think of as the lion and the king of the jungle, and don't make him mad because but you don't want to hear that roar, and you don't want that thing to come after you. I spent so much time in that energy that when those feelings would come up, and they would be so big, and I didn't know what to do with them. And so what happens to us when we feel things that hurt or that frustrate or that anger us or that make us sad or that, you know, whatever it is, and that starts to well up within us, and if we don't know what to do with that, then what we're going to be triggered to do is to get rid of it as fast as we can. To we don't like how that feels, and so we gotta and put that out. Get that out. And it comes out roaring at whoever is around us. And what we've done, and I did not realize this for so many years, we feel kind of powerful in that moment. We feel like, we've shown our teeth and we've let our roar out, and we are in charge. We're going to show somebody who's boss, and they better not forget it. And we feel powerful. And we don't realize that what we've actually done is taken the whole big ball of fire that is that energy that we could have harnessed and allowed it to grow and work with it, knowing that it's not going to swallow us up. It's not more powerful than us. It is us. And we could have taken that energy, and if we just had the awareness that we can master it. It's our energy. It has to do what we tell it to do. It has no other choice. But see, for so long, I didn't know that. I didn't know what to do with it. Nobody had ever taught me what to do with it. All I knew was that I felt all of this stuff, and it scared me when it would come up from inside. But I didn't know that it was fear that I was feeling. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And so then, as I started to get older, it started to feel powerful, where I had never felt powerful before. I had never felt like I had a voice for so long in my early life. And so when that fire energy would come up within me, and I figured out that I could roar, and I could feel powerful, then that's what I was inclined to do. And I don't like doing that. Because at the end of the day, that fleeting feeling of power always turned to shame, which then fed the cycle, because then I would need to have a moment of feeling even more powerful, because I had now added to my shame. So I had to double up on the powerful feeling to get rid of that extra shame. So you see how that works? And see there, what we've done is use every bit of our power to lock ourselves in our own internal prison. And so as we think about these themes that are being brought to our awareness right now with this Leo new moon energy of empowerment and personal freedom, and breaking away from the old, breaking away from any kind of constraints or oppression or anything that has limited us, either with our consent or without. with our knowledge or without, I guess I should say. We're not doing any better. I think it's real important to be mindful of this. That when we start to wake up and we realize all of, the ways that we've been misguided and misled, and we can start, it can be very tempting to feel like somebody's going to pay for this. Somebody is going to be held accountable for this. And, especially with so much fire energy right now, that can be easily triggered, and there's a rapid awakening and splitting of timelines happening. And the energy of that is, even for people that don't, that are not tuned into the concept of spiritual awakening or, planetary ascension. Even when you just go out in public, I noticed yesterday I had to go to the grocery to get a few things, and it's palpable. People are like, there's this energy of, we can, like, something's about to go down, and we can feel it, and everybody's just a little bit twitchy, we call it being sporty. It's sporty out there today. And so as we start to think about what kind of intentions that we're going to set for this new moon, I would encourage you to set an intention to be creative in the ways that you work with your own power, and that you look to new ways that you can break free from constraints, that you can rise in your own power, that you can use this fire energy to refine your self-mastery. Because here's the thing. If any kind of energy coming and going into your awareness, into your energy field, into the cosmos, whatever, if you stay in those lower vibrations and get tangled up in the duality of that, then even though it may feel powerful in the moment, like for a fleeting moment, you have absolutely just poured all of that rich, fiery, creative, like it's the energy of the sun. It's the imagery of the phoenix that rises from those flames and uses those flames to propel it straight up into this beautiful creation and this beautiful new being that is just magnificent, and it knows it, and it is not looking back. I've never, not one time, seen an artistic rendering of a phoenix that was like looking back, still trying to hold on to what was in the flames. Every artistic rendering I've seen this thing is using, it doesn't ever look like it's running away from the flame. It looks like it is letting that flame be like rocket fuel. And that's the kind of energy that can create worlds, that creates universes, that creates whatever that you want to create. But you have to get comfortable with it, with that burning feeling. And it was a long time, a long time before I knew that that was even possible. And then before I got the trick of mastering it. And I still have to it still gets me every now and then. I haven't perfected it by any means. But it's little reminders, you know. And that's what I've been thinking about these last couple of days is how much more empowering it feels to let that fire get hotter and hotter within you without letting it burn you up. You know, it's like one of my favorite stories in the Bible is when the three young guys walk into the furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego walked into the furnace and came out not even smelling of smoke. And to me, it's a metaphor of two things. It's a metaphor of whatever faith you are, whether whether there's that story is recanted in many different sacred and religious texts. That's how I came to know it was in the biblical account of it. It's a metaphor and a message of unshakable faith, of knowing what is going on and what this thing is all about, and knowing that if you know what the fire actually is, and you know where you're from, you know who you are, you know to whom you belong, and you know where you're going. And what I have found is you don't need any other answers. You'll walk into a furnace. You might moonwalk right through it. That's how I always envision myself going through it anyway. And it's not to make light of it. It's really not to make light of it at all. But when you learn to hold on to that fire energy when it rises up in you, because at first it'll feel like you're being triggered, big time. And so our first response is going to be to want to get rid of it and put it somewhere that's not there, so that we don't have to feel it. And that's when we get reactive, and that's when we give our power away. We're not free when we do that. You know, and I've been thinking a lot about actually like just lions in the wild. It's been very interesting I've been reading a little bit more about that, and we talked about that a little bit in the last episode, that, you know, one of the things that's really fascinating about the lion is it's got the power and the might and it's the king of the jungle for a reason. It could, if it got when it gets a hold of something, that whatever it's gotten a hold of doesn't stand a chance. But it doesn't go around lording that over people or oppressing the rest of the jungle with that. And the biggest thing, now, ladies, I want to speak to my lady listeners for just a second, because especially ladies that are around my age group. It is not cute for us to be fighting with each other, clawing at each other, clawing at the, eating your young. I say that metaphorically, meaning like, come on, ladies. I've been there. For a moment in my life, I let myself get there, and all it did was make me bitter, with no real friends, and started to get a really cold heart, and that's not me. So we have to be an example to this next generation of young ladies that's coming up. We've got to take some advice and to take a cue from this lioness energy, where we are cool, calm, and collected. We help each other. We work together. We don't tear our men down. We lift them up and speak life into them. We use our intuition to detect danger and to watch out for. We teach our young the right way of things, and Lord knows I've made all kinds of mistakes in the past with that too. It's been real hard. I think it's been uniquely challenging for women of my age group, and these are the women that have been coming to me for these sessions. It just all of a sudden, it seems like I'm just getting the same. It's the same thing over and over, where there's good hearts, big hearts, that just for one reason or another had experienced so much pain that they started going down, the wrong path of either too much to drink, too much to eat, too much sex, looking for love in all the wrong places is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say there's such a thing as like too much sex if it's with like your person. I'm talking about the shadow side of trying to fill a void with something that don't belong there or fit. Drugs, addiction, depression. And they've been on this path, and they've been waking up and starting to get some things turned around, and now they're in this moment where they feel this timeline split, and it's like they're on the top of I can see it in their faces. They're on the top of the high dive, and they're going, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can really do it. Like, what? Look at all the ways I've messed up. What? I ain't got no business up here. And I've had the unique opportunity of being able to look at them and say, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because I'm here with you. And I get scared sometimes just like you do. But if there's one thing I know, it's that I got wings. And so do you. And we will learn how to fly at some point before we touch the ground, but we ain't touching the ground. We're doing this thing. And if you're worried, and if those old feelings of shame and guilt and feeling less than and feeling undeserving, feeling like you've ever messed up too bad, that somehow you don't deserve to be a part of this and to experience it, or that it's really not for you because you may even still be struggling with some of those things, but dang it, you're trying. And they're having this moment of like, I don't know if I can do it. And I've been able to say, you better, you came, we walked all the way up the steps and waited in all that line. We're going off the top of this high dive. And you're gonna have fun. And you're worthy to do it. You can do it. Because my Lord, look at everything else you've been through and everything else that you've overcome. Why wouldn't people look to you as an example of strength, as an example of courage, as an example of rebirth, as an example of perseverance, empowerment? Is if I'm going in, people that know me, I'm not I'm not much of an outdoorsy type person. I've never been camping in my life, not one time. I'm now, for the first time in my life, actually interested in trying it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If I go out into the wild unknown, I want somebody with me that maybe has walked through some rough path before. Because I know they'll know how to handle themselves. And they might can help me through it if there's something that I'm not seeing, or that I just don't know about, or that if I get scared. Because I tell you something, I'm a really good swimmer and diver. I was on the swim and dive team when I was growing up. I loved doing it. I was good at it. I can empower somebody to go off the top of a high dive. You put me in the woods, I want somebody that's been in the woods, that's been in the rough, that can speak that kind of life into me to help me out. So the card that I have pulled is Archangel Raphael. And it says, you are worthy. And when I pulled that card out, after everything that I have been meditating on and everything that I've just shared with you guys, it's just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And like I usually do, like I always do when I experience Archangel Raphael's presence, I felt like I've been just given a big hug. I felt warm all over, and I felt like I was being told, good job. Good job. You have earned this. You deserve this. You and so many others. And it's available to all of us. You know, the real way to be free, the only true way to ever be free, is to be free from the prison that you create within yourself. Set yourself free of shame. Set yourself free of unworthiness. Set yourself free from looking in the mirror and seeing anything other than a miracle standing there looking back at you. Ask the angels for help. Ask God, Source, Spirit for help. Ask whatever it is, whoever it is. That's not the part that matters. What matters is that you remember who you are, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that no matter what comes and goes on this earth, that it all has a purpose, and that the real power lies in the mastery of that power, and in being able to harness it. Let it come up within you. Because what happens is, because we're in this cyclical, like torrid spiral energy, is that if you can breathe through it and allow it to come up, it will move around. It'll make a lap. And what you will experience when it comes around on that lap is this feeling of passion and desire and empowerment and creativity and love and warmth and strength that has absolutely nothing to do with anything other than the strength of your heart to love and to feel and to create and to see the world around you as a miracle and want to co-create in that. Want to actively co-create in that and get excited about that. And I'll leave you with this. Archangel Michael has get choked up. Archangel Michael has been with me since birth. I remember being a little teeny tiny girl. My earliest memories. I didn't know he was an angel. I didn't know he was an angel until I was 35 years old. I knew that he was my friend. I knew that he was good. I knew that we just had the best way of talking to each other, and he just was always with me. He's always there. And it never occurred to me to ask. And so when I found out, you can imagine my surprise. Because he never appeared to me the way that he does now. He never appeared to me with wings, or he appeared to me much like you would see him traditionally depicted. He's very large, but to me felt that his energy felt. When I say his, that's what I needed at that time in my life. So that's where that energy met me, was as a more of like a parental big brother, protector, best friend kind of energy. The angels will meet you wherever you need them to meet you, and that's why. Is that for that very reason? Is why it was so long before I had any kind of an awareness that it was an archangel that I had been hanging out with. And I asked. I remember one time, many times I would ask, and I remember the first time I got a response, and I asked, "Why didn't you tell me? Like, hello, why would you not tell me that?" And he said to me, "Because you would have run, and you would have never talked to me again." And when that washed over me, I was like, wow. That's that's the kind of energy that's available to assist us. Is an energy that loves us so unconditionally. It only wants the highest and greatest good for us, and has the perspective to see Archangel Michael is most people when they experience his presence, it's massive. It's very large. He's the protection angel. He's known as the leader of God's army. He guides people. He guides people in like service related fields, like the police force, like the military, the fire department, those kind of things. And he is associated with the sign of Leo. And he carries a sword and a shield. And it's a sword of light. So I want us to think about that. That if we're triggered, here's this archangel that's clearly got the energy of like being in charge and not afraid of anything. And the way he defends and protects is with light. And he also happens to be the angel that protects children, particularly children who are in this lifetime experiencing some challenging things, some traumatic things, some things that they're afraid of. And his energy is just for every bit as empowering and courageous, and he will help you he's associated with the throat chakra. He will help you to speak your truth, to speak up when you need to stand in your power. But the way that he does it is in such a masterful, he will guide you to do that in such a masterful way. And all of that strength and power and leadership and voice and all of that we think about when we think about the energy of Archangel Michael. A lot of people don't know that he also is so very gentle and tender and has the most loving, nurturing energy. So much so that he protects little children. You know, he's with he's with small children quite a bit of the time, and I think that's so beautiful. And he's so loving and caring that he didn't even tell me he was an archangel, because he didn't want me to run off in shame. He didn't want me to have to feel ashamed. And so I think that that's the intent for the new moon. I think that that's, if you haven't thought about where you're going to set your intent, or you're not quite sure, that might be something to think about, is where can I offer some gentleness? Not being a pushover, not being a doormat, but where can I be empowered through the kindness that I show to others? When someone in my awareness is clearly struggling for one reason or another, and the way that they're expressing it is, maybe something that causes me to feel a little fiery, can I use that to be empowered to create a different reality, to try something new, and just try and love somebody through something, to allow them their process too, and to say, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm here if you need me. Even if we don't know what to do, or even if what they're going through is nothing that we think that we have any kind of relatability to. Do y'all get it, that we are all source? And so anytime that we think that we don't have anything in common, or can't find one place to find common ground with somebody, my Lord, it would be like your left arm and your right arm arguing. Or your left leg and your right leg saying that they got nothing in common and can't figure it out. It's kind of crazy when you think about it like that. But our arms and our legs don't do that. They don't fight with each other. They work together to get us where we need to go. Take us on a journey. Go for a walk. Go explore. So that's what I will leave you with today. Thank you for allowing me to share what's on my heart, what I've been reflecting on. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful new moon. I hope that you will be inspired to go within and think about what's something different that you can do with this fire energy than you've ever done before. And be empowered by that. Let the burning away of the old not cause you to run away, but let it be fuel for your journey. There's something incredibly powerful and incredibly sexy too, by the way. I'll just put that out there. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. About somebody owning their stuff and saying, that was me. That was me, and thank God it's not anymore. And I'm going to use this to see how I can create something new for myself and be an example to others and help and extend love and care to as many people along the way. When I see somebody that's, from the outside looking in, looks like the wheels have fallen off and I need to take a detour, instead of making that judgment, I'm going to say, but for the grace of God, there goes I. And look at it from a different perspective. Thank you all so very much. I love you. This has been, y'all are helping me live my dream. And I appreciate that, and I recognize that I can't do it unless y'all are listening. And so we're co-creating this, and that's beautiful. And I really, really appreciate it. If any of you out there are finding it challenging to work through this fire energy, you can always reach out. I've got lots of different services that I offer, lots of different ways that we can approach it and walk through it together. And if not me, then there are a lot of really gifted, well-intended, loving healers, teachers, coaches, readers out there that are available and that want to help. Because we've been there. We know what it's like, and so now it's our turn to extend that hand out to anybody else to help make their way a little bit easier. So if you need that, all that information is available to you in the description box. And I hope that you have just a wonderful week. I hope that you will set some really beautiful intentions for true freedom, authentic power, and allowing that to inspire you and fuel you to just create every beautiful thing, every new and fun and exciting and passionate experience that you want to have. I hope that you will set the intention to free yourself from any limitations so that you can go and create those things and experience those things. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of Leo heart love, and we will talk again soon.
I am not an island. I wanna feel the connection.